So, let's start with your name and where you're from.
Les Cowie.
Mm-hmm.
I was originally from the city of Durban in South Africa, but now I live here in Orlando, Florida,
Nice.
and I'm an American who just talks funny.
Yeah? Excellent. And I understand that you have a story to tell us today.
Well, yes, I can tell you a story of when I was your age, my
Yeah.
college days. Would that be good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you, I presume you know of Moscow.
Of course I do.
Well, Moscow in 1968, in my day, was the center of espionage.
Really?
So if you've heard of Moscow, have you ever heard of Franancow?
I have not heard of Franancow.
Oh, well, I guess you're wondering what threatening activities happen there.
Yes?
Well, then I will tell you the story about a spy at Franancow. I was always fascinated with espionage. Oh, I would love to have been a secret agent. I would love to have been a spy. In fact, in my second year in college was when the first James Bond movie came out, Dr. No. Oh my, did that just excite me. I so wanted to be a spy. I was just so in awe of James Bond. And not because of his car or his weapons, but his women. They just flocked to him, and he didn't have to do much to get them either. Oh yes, I wanted to be a James Bond. But it was not so easy with a certain young lady named Fran Darwin, who I really wanted to make my girlfriend and have a serious relationship with. It was a little more difficult than her, and I was no James Bond. There was the day I recall when she had to come and pick me up at the military base.
Okay.
And oh dear, military base, I shudder even now because I was just not made out to be someone who handled a rifle, you know, or a pistol. Oh no, I was not cut out to handle a weapon. And we had, as the military always requires, we had to attend monthly practices and go to the firing range. Well, you know, whether it was the rifle or whether it was the 9mm Parabellum, every time I tried at a target, boy, my grouping just looked like a vegetable strainer. Oh, all over the darn show. And Fran was to pick me up at the end of that. She had gone, it was a Saturday, and she had gone to Lulama, which was the clinic where she worked. She was a therapist with drug dependents and alcoholics. Oh my, I can remember a day when I went there and I just watched her in front of a group. I just had cold shivers. Oh my, this young lady so impressed me. But getting back to the rifle range, I was trying to avoid it. But when she finished her meeting, she of course got in her car, drove down, parked and stopped. I had been just trying to hit the bullseye. And I looked up and I saw her in the rifle range with Colonel Trudeau and Major Thomas. I thought, wow, that's strange. What I didn't realize is that Trudeau had seen someone in a car watching the practice. and from a security point of view had walked over and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, why are you parked here?" "Oh," she says, "I'm here to pick up Lieutenant Cowie." "Oh," he says, "Lieutenant Cowie will be another 30 minutes or so." "And your name is?" She said, "My name's Fran Darwin." So he says, "Fran, may I ask you, have you ever fired a weapon?" She says, "No." He said, "You know, every South African woman should know how to fire a weapon, just as a defensive technique. You never know when you need it, so would you like to learn?" Well, she kind of felt boxed in. She had no option. She couldn't really say no to a colonel, could she? All right, so she steps up. Trelaw introduces her to Major Thomas. They give her a 9mm parabellum. And of course, that's when I saw her boom, 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 boom. What I didn't know at the time was she was devastatingly accurate. First time with a weapon. She fired in a cluster this close, but just slightly to the right. She was shooting slightly to the right, but devastating. I was not aware of that at the time. It wasn't long before I became drastically aware of it, because at the end of the practice, we all, as in military style, lined up, and being an officer, I was up front, and of course, you know, there I was all stiff and serious. And Trelaw made the announcements, as always done. He read out some scores, leaving mine till last.
Oh no.
Major Thomas then handed him my target sheet, which, as I say, looked like a vegetable strainer. And he says, "Guys, this is the target sheet for Lieutenant Cowie." Thomas gives him the next one. He holds up Fran's target sheet. He says, "And this is the target sheet for his girlfriend, Frances Cowie." Everybody's, "Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah." You know. Oh, and I so wanted to hang my head in shame. But in true military style, I just took the standing stiff, took it on the chin. But inside I was saying to myself, hey, I'm still the boss at night. So I eventually get into the car and she is laughing at me. And I said to her, "Okay, what are we going to do after we've had lunch?" She said, "Well, we've got the whole afternoon open." She said, "How about this? Why don't we just, all of my friends are asking about you." And I said, "Well, yeah, all of my friends are asking about you." And a lot of my friends after college were just spread around the country. So she said, "Why don't we use our cameras in the back seat there and, take some photographs of us and make like a little newsletter and then mail that out to our friends. And we can call it an introduction to Fran Darwin and Les Cowie." Well, my creativity clicks in and I said, "Oh, no, let's make it more dramatic like that. Look at you in your orange pantsuit, slender at the waist. You just look so strong. To me, you look like a spy. And here I am in my military, uniform. Why don't we call it a spy at Franancow?" Hence, the newsletter was called A Spy at Franancow. Well, we then spent the next 2 hours going around to different locations and using a plastic gun. We had shooting scenes where the military were trying to catch the spy. The spy took the military by surprise, and using various martial arts techniques, we had the kung fu and the kick and the, photographs with her foot on my chest. Actually, we amazed a bunch of passers-by saying to them, "Would you mind taking a photograph of us?" And most people think it's two people going to stand there smiling, right, and click with the camera. Oh no, they kill themselves laughing when we were in these crazy poses. But there we are. We took these military and spy pictures, published our newsletter, The Spy at Franancow, and everybody loved it. But I got to tell you, in that 2 hours, I just found myself falling deeply, deeply in love with Fran. And she was apparently falling deeply, deeply in love with me.
And then how many years later you became, well, she's my grandma, so.
She's your grandma, and you know, oh dear, she passed from colon cancer 18 months ago. And
How many years of marriage was?
just a few months short of 50 years of marriage.
That's incredible.
Just a wonderful marriage. Just a wonderful marriage. So at that time, I couldn't spy into the future, but oh my, what a beautiful future it had for me.